this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here really with my little scrap box again. It feels like literally only the other day that I did a bit of a clear out of this box, but I'm trying to keep on top of it. And so as soon as it starts like overflowing, obviously this is just a lid, so I mean it's not particularly deep, but as soon as it starts getting a little bit full like it is now, I'm trying to make an effort to literally come along and, you know, contain the scraps and kind of work my way through them rather than leave them to get too out of hand, which of course, you know, I sometimes do. So I'm going to just go through the box, and I thought I'd just bring you along with me, and we'll just again make some little things and bits and pieces just to make sure that we're clearing the box down, you know, regularly is, you know, is the intention. So for instance here I've got this little sort of piece of paper which is really quite nice, and what I thought we'd do is I'm just going to ink it up slightly. I mean, I have to say not much ink is coming out there. Hold on, I have to be a bit careful because I had been using water earlier, so just in case my ink's very inky, if I kind of over dip the sponge I'm going to end up with really dark here. So I'll just do it a little bit. And what I thought we could do is just make like some paper ruffles from this. So I'm just going to kind of cut this into strips like that. And that one there. And we can just kind of fold these over, making little paper, you know, paper ruffles like what we make with our fabric basically. Now of course you could use your sewing machine, or you could use staples. I mean, you could use glue I guess for this too. I think any would be fine. Shall we use glue, or shall we use staples, or shall we stitch? I think I'm going to stitch it. So I'm just going to fold them all over, and then I'll be ready to go across to the sewing machine and just, you know, I'll do like a running stitch straight through like the middle of each one of these little strips. So like that. They don't have to be huge, you know, that's absolutely fine. And again, just another one here. Oops. Like that. I mean, the scraps really do mount up very quickly, to be honest, and you know, as I say, I'm trying my best to be a bit more disciplined and kind of just, you know, keep on top of them to some extent. But I mean, of course it is hard, you know, keeping on top of them because they accumulate so very quickly. But, you know, if I'm in my mind, you know, as soon as that box starts getting a little bit overflowing, if I then straight away, you know, not tame it, but, you know, work my way through a few of the scraps, then hopefully it's not going to get too out of hand anytime soon, is the plan. So that's those. So I'm going to just pop those to one side. We could make some other little paper scraps if I've got some other pieces that are lending themselves quite nicely. So I've got this one here, which I could make quite a longish strip. In fact, I could do a couple from this. So let's just put that down. And then we'll just do this one here. And then we'll just do a shorter one here, like that. Okay, and I'm going to be rigid. I'm going to bin this, because why am I hanging on to bits that minuscule? I have no idea. Just, yeah, there's no need to, is there? So yes, get rid of those. Be strong, get rid of them. So again, just ink down these. And here. Okay. And this one. Okay, and exactly the same. I'm going to tear the edges off because I like them a bit more raggedy, I don't know. I like them with the torn edges, that's what I'm trying to say. So I'll just kind of, you know, tear the ends off so they're not quite so like formal. Okay. And, you know, I don't mind if they're crooked. In fact, I prefer them to be crooked. Who wants a straight, you know, ruffle? That's not really very attractive, is it? So yeah, I'm actually kind of almost intentionally trying to make them a bit more raggedy in their, you know, the order. So like this one, this looks very raggedy already, and I just think it looks so much better like that than perfectly straight. So that's that one. Do this one. So I hope everyone's having a good day. How's it going? If you're managed to keep on top of, if you're trying, sorry, to keep on top of your scraps, how are you managing it? Is it going well? Are you like me and they get out of hand a little bit quick? Or is it going okay? It maybe is going okay for you. Maybe I'm just the only person who kind of struggles, but it's hard because they just do mount up so exceptionally quickly. So there we go. Again, just, you know, fold them in like that. Okay, so I mean, I've got all different shapes and size folds there. It's all fine. So again, that's another one for going to the sewing machine. Actually, I'm going to put these on the floor behind me, all the bits that need to go to the sewing machine. And then depending on how the time goes in this video, we may go over and do the sewing and then sort of come back. So I don't want to make all, you know, ruffles. I'd like to make some other things too. So I'm thinking maybe make some of those paper strips. So I don't know whether you saw my video. Oh, it feels like a really long time ago. I don't need that in there. That's actually a complete piece of paper. It feels like a really long time ago. It probably isn't as long as I'm thinking, but it feels ages ago, where we did the paper edge trims. So what I'm going to do is just do a couple of those, and all I'm going to do is, again, I'm not so keen on the straight edges, so I'm going to tear this down along the edge so that it's, you know, got some nice effect going on. Now I was thinking I would get 2 out of this, but to be honest I might not now, so well, I probably could, but well, we'll see. So I'm just going to tear that down there. I had a hilarious comment recently. I think it was from Sue. I apologise if it wasn't you, Sue, but I struggle with names. And she said about tearing the paper and how it looks like she's taken little bites. And yeah, Sue, if you're watching and it was you, see, I have that effect too. So, but I don't mind. I don't mind having little bites. It's kind of cute. So all I'm going to do now is just layer up a couple of my little pieces that I've got here in the box. So I'm going to go over that piece because that's quite skinny on there. And then we can layer up another piece. So let's see, maybe this might look quite nice. Oops. Just take that down there. Can kind of just layer that up like that, and then we can put a focal point or something on there. So the focal point will probably not come from my scraps box. I will probably just grab something that's, again, just lingering around on my desk. So let's just have a look. Oh, not that, it's quite bright on there. But I am thinking, you know, a flower of some sort. So still got my glue book favourites on my desk from my folio that I made. Yeah, I haven't cleared those away yet. So let's just see if I've got anything there. Okay, because I went straight from that glue book to something else. I mean, that's my excuse. It's a bit of a feeble excuse, really, but never mind. I almost quite like the strawberry, I think. Well, the rose is kind of nice, I guess. Oops, got a flower there that needs to go into my tray at the back of my desk. Yeah, so I'm going to just leave that like that. Now, what I could do, actually, I was just going to obviously take this to the sewing machine, but I'm going to just literally hold it in place with, you know, a minuscule dab of glue. only because I'm going to be making a bit of a pile behind me of things to take to the sewing machine. And if I don't stick these down a little bit, my pile would just obviously have all spilled out behind me, and then I won't remember what, you know, what I was putting where. So that's that one. Put that down on the floor. Okay, let's make another one. So we've got obviously the remainder of that. So what I might do is go with this with a straight edge, I guess. So let's do it this way in. So again, just kind of layer it up maybe with a bit of scrapbook paper. Let's just go for this one. It's quite fun, you know, working with scraps because, you know, I like that way of working where things all turn out very, very different. And, you know, nothing's looking the same. I think that's quite a fun thing to do. And that's how you get your really eclectic looking pieces, isn't it? To, you know, just have a whole bunch of different stuff. Now I'm leaning across, so sorry about this, because I've got some of my... my Curator's Collection florals here, so I'm just wondering whether I could have one of those. Just on here as well. Oh, I don't know whether that's quite as good as I'd hoped actually, because oh, maybe that one's better, or maybe that one. That's quite nice. And I might just have a little bit of book page or something behind it again, just because, you know, that's going to then be more out of the box, more stuff being used up, which is, you know, what this is all about after all. So again, I'm just going to blob some glue on there so it's held together until I get to the sewing machine. So, you know, just a teeny weeny bit, literally, just to, you know, hold it in place a little bit. Okay. Because obviously once I stitch this, it's going to be held in place. So that's that. Whoops. Oh, come on. That's that one. Okay. What else did I have? I had some other sort of straightish bits. So let's make a couple of like flippy pads or something maybe from this. Oh no, before I start that, I've got some more stiffer strips. These are kind of from card, so they're a little bit too stiff really to make flippy pads, I guess. Although I could just make some little foldy pieces, so let's do that. So I'm just going to fold this over, squash that down. Let's round those corners. Actually, let's do two of these because I've got this one that's quite stiff as well. So let's just kind of make these at the same time. Is that one stiff? No, that's a solid piece. But this one's quite stiff, so we could make a little foldy with this. And actually, I'm going to put this separate because I've got something in mind for this already. So I'm not going to do this one now. Again, let's round the corners on here. Come on. Okay. I'm just going to ink these up a little bit. I mean, this one is the food coloured paper. This one is coffee dyed. So, I mean, to be honest, the coffee dyed one probably doesn't really even need inking up. It's quite vintage looking anyway. So I'm not going to bother with that one. Okie dokie. actually. I think I probably prefer it this way. So let's have it that way. And let's see what we've got in here that we can do on the front. So these are those gorgeous doilies again from Daisy's Doilies. That's her shop. She's got some lovely embroideries on her shop. She's on Etsy, Daisy's Doilies. I did use her things recently in a mass make. I think I've used her things a couple of times in a mass make actually. But yeah, if you haven't popped over to her shop, it is worth having a look because she does have some really gorgeous, you know, really nice doilies and embroideries that I haven't really seen such a good variety really anywhere else. So yeah, worth having a look. Just thinking I could kind of maybe layer those kind of couple of bits up like that. So let's just pop the book page down first. Okie dokie. Okay, pop that down, oops, on there. And then just before I commit to that, I've been having a bit of a play this morning, making some quite grungy looking pieces with some of my inked inchies, and I just wonder whether something there might go quite nice on here. That's quite nice, isn't it? So let's just have a look if we ink this up. So I'll just ink the book page up. Yeah, I like this way of crafting when it's just such an eclectic mix and you don't know what you're going to grab next, because you know, it saves you getting too bored. You know, everything seems fun and fresh because you're just picking up absolutely, you know, random pieces with who knows what's going to be picked up next, which is really super fun. So I'm thinking like that, and I just wondered whether I could layer this what's it called? Toadstool. The toadstool onto something. So got some of my brownie florals here. Not sure about those actually. Do I want those instead? Oh, I don't know. Decisions. Got another brownie type piece here. Oh, I don't know now. Or shall we try and add something like completely contrasting? Or actually I've got this, which this is like some vintage, now what was this? I think it might have been the cover of a book. I actually can't remember. It's been in this scraps box now for a couple of weeks and I can't remember now what I took it from. It was a vintage something. I can't remember now whether it was a vintage book or an album or something. Not sure, but it was from 1908, I think. And yeah, it's got really nice coloration on it, so maybe just kind of layer it on there like that. Let's just go around the edges. Thinking maybe those toadstools are a bit too dark, to be honest. They might just be, yeah, a bit too dark on here. So let me just see if I've got something else for that. Again, I mustn't get sucked in now, you know, to being really, really slow. Because I'm trying to get through these scraps, not now just waste a ton of time selecting the right piece. But I mean, of course you do want to select the right piece, don't you? So I've got my autumn, my fabulous fall ephemera here. So let's just cut out maybe a couple of those bits. Thinking the squirrel, but I'm not sure that will fit on there, so it might have to be the owl. Oops, that's around there. Okie dokie. That's that one. I'll just cut this. around there. Oh, it's a really nice day out there today. Sun's shining. It's, yeah, it just feels really nice. I haven't, you know, I haven't been out. I don't know whether it's really hot. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, I really like that. So let's just go for that. Oh, I have glue problems now. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? So I haven't had those for a couple of days. Right, let's just try my other glue. Oh, hold on. Just need to unclog it. Okay. So I'm just going to pop this one down here. And then this vintage, whatever it was from, that I can't remember, pop that down next. Okay. And then we'll just have the owl on there as well. I'm just going to ink the very edges of that owl, just to cover up any kind of fussy cutting where I've got white showing. There wasn't too much actually, but you know, sometimes it's worse than others. Okay. Truth be known, I've probably cut half the owl off, you know, to make sure I didn't get white. He's probably lost a leg or something along the way. No, he's not lost a leg. I only know that because both his feet are actually on the tree trunk. But otherwise it was a possibility. It was a possibility. And I've just got these numbers, so I'm just going to see whether I could just have one of those on there. Again, just because then it's, well, I was going to say it's using these up, but I mean, obviously you can see I still have lots there. Lots to go, so it's not really making a significant difference, but every little helps when it comes to using up scraps, doesn't it? Every little helps. Okay. So just like that. Then I've just got a scrap of lace that's just lingering on the desk. So again, let's use that. Gets that off the desk. Oops, I'm just going to trim that down a bit more. There we go. Just, ooh, stuck on me now. Right, just ink that up a little bit. Oh, come on. Whoa. Every time I move my hand now, it's stuck on me. So I'm just going to have that down here. Oops. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? So that's that piece. Put that down behind me. Right, I'm just going to check what the time is. 23 minutes. My gosh, we've made quite a few bits already. So I feel like this is going quite well so far. Obviously, there's plenty of time for it to deteriorate yet. Now, aha, this was that other one that I was making. I can't remember quite for the moment what it was that I was planning on doing. So again, let's just tear a little bit of bit page down. Have that there. And then have got anything else that's quite a nice contrast or, you know, complements nicely. Let's just have a look. These flowers. And they're quite bright on there, to be honest, so not so sure about those. Oh, isn't that pretty? Just, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that necessarily, you know, is a great combination, i.e. for, I don't know what journal I would manage to put that in, but doesn't that just look scrumptious together? Yeah, it does look scrumptious. Right. Okay, again, just might even put that kind of more at the top, I think. Let's just ink this up. Wow, that's so yummy, isn't it? I wonder if I could have that kind of coming out to the side, or do we think that's a bit much then? Let's have a look. Oops. Not sure. Let's have a number, perhaps. Again, I mean, I'm just tearing these down. Don't always tear them, sometimes I cut them, but I mean, tearing is quite quick, isn't it? So it, you know, really kind of speeds things up quite a bit, I think. Just to tear, and to be honest, I really love the torn type look. So yeah, I like it like that. Oh, that's such a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous combination, those two colours. I love like teal and pink together. I mean, I know this isn't really quite teal, it's kind of more of a, oh, I don't know whether it would be like a sea spray type colour. I'm not really too sure, but isn't it just a beautiful colour? Absolutely gorgeous. Really, really pretty colour. Yeah, I'll keep that held tight. Okay. Just go down there with that number. And then I have got just that little bit of lace there. Obviously that's not really now the right shape. I mean, to be honest, I'm going to be rigid. I'm going to bin that. Why am I wanting to hang on to a minuscule scrap of lace? I've no idea why would I be thinking about hanging on to that in the first place? That's just really strange, isn't it? You know, it's so tiny. What would I be thinking I'm going to be doing with it? I have no idea. No. And this piece feels really super summery, which is kind of weird because we're now obviously heading towards autumn. Well, by the time this video goes up, I suspect it will be full-blown autumn. So it's a bit weird kind of venturing back to summer, but it's quite nice. I'm going to use the pink ribbon, pink lace here, just for a sort of, you know, bit more prettiness. There we go. Oops. Pop that down there. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim this off. So off here, off this side, and then off along here as well. Okay, so that looks pretty, doesn't it? And then just wondered whether we want anything else kind of pinkish down here in this corner. Kind of feel like it needs something there. Let me just, so I've just cut a teeny weeny bit of lace off to just possibly have here. I don't know why, but for some reason it was kind of saying it needed another bit of pink, I think, to just bring the two bits together. So I'm just going to then pop that down on there. Oops. Okay. Gorgeous. So that's another piece done. And of course, you know, I can always add to these pieces when I come to actually use them. So if I think that it could do with some more stuff, then can always kind of add to them. So let's make a couple of pages worth of clusters, shall we, with the book page, because again, that's going to use up these bits and pieces, you know, at quite a quick rate, hopefully. So let's just tear out a couple of bits like that. Oops. I don't really like the white showing, so I'll try and get rid of that as much as I can. And then this one, this one's white around every edge, so not quite so great. Oh well, I'll have it like that. Okay, bin those bits, and then we could have some of this vintage paper. Might be quite good. Or maybe this way. Why am I don't know. I just am like then struggling with how to put this plain paper. What's that about? Right, let's just put some down here. I quite like it like that, I think. And then we'll just use a bit more up there. Whoops. Should we have that kind of coming out like that, maybe? So again, I'm just going to glue those down. Like that. Okie dokie. Oops. And a bit more here. And of course, you know, I could always go over these with the sewing machine or staple or something, you know. If they're not really glued down sufficiently, I can just obviously stick them down with something else to help them along a little bit. So, but I'm just at the moment just getting them down onto the page, just, you know, with anything basically. You know, any amount of glue, I'm not kind of too worried if it's not quite enough. It's, you know, doesn't really matter too much. Okay, and then let's have like a couple of other layers. So maybe this piece is quite nice. Could have that on there. I'm just going to tear that edge down like that. Okay. Yep, I quite like that. So just pop that one down. Oops, like that. What else have we got here? Let's have a look. Have a look. Oh dear, what am I looking at? And for, I don't know. Right. Hopefully it's going to just jump out when I spot something that's, you know, just the thing I'm looking for. And I've got these flowers. Oh, they clearly do not go on here. Yep, definitely they're not the right item. And I've got her, she's too big. It's a shame because colour-wise she's lovely. But yeah, I would have to cut her whole face down, to be honest, which then that's not great, is it? So, okay, what else have I got laying around? Let's have a look. I've got that Big Ben again. I wonder if I could have that on here or something. Let me just ink that up because it's just got that white edge, so just ink that down the edge slightly. That looks better straight away. So that could go there. I might just have a little bit of text, I think, coming out behind there as well. Oops. Yeah, that's quite nice. So let's just glue this one down. And then we'll just glue this one down here. Okay. There we go. So that's quite nice. Then this one, what should we put on here? I mean, obviously those flowers don't really go, but weirdly, it was kind of calling me to just at least try. I don't know why, but yeah. Sometimes you've just got to try things. If you have a, you know, it's pulling you there, then it's worth trying it, isn't it? I mean, even if they look terrible, at least you've given it a try, haven't you? Right, what else? What else have I got here? Actually, something laying on my desk would be, you know, really good to actually use up some pieces that I've literally got laying about here anyway. Ah, I have one of those boots. These boots, they just look awesome everywhere I put them. They're a little bit like a butterfly. I know, they're nothing like a butterfly, but I mean they're a bit like a butterfly, as in they look great everywhere you put them. So these boots, they're in my glue book favourites 4, set 4. Yeah, they just seem to look really cool on everything. They're just one of those really fun things that just looks good everywhere. So yeah, might prefer that without that extra book page actually. Let me just take that away. Oh no, let's have the book page. Okie dokie. I'll just pop the boot down. Okie doke. On there. And so now we just need something for this one now. Just again see what I've got here in my little bits and bobs that are, you know, again, still lingering around from my glue book. I've got those pears, they're kind of cute. I'm not sure whether they quite go with those papers, to be fair. I've got a butterfly. Is that too brown? Too much brown? Got a label. Could have a label. I'm not sure that's quite the right colour, to be honest. What else have I got? Oh, I've got one of those Napoleons. I mean, obviously, he's huge on there, isn't he? Yep. Yep, he's just like a monster on that cluster, so I don't think we'll have him. But sometimes you can't tell until you try, can you? So it's always worth trying. Don't you love that stamp? It's gorgeous, isn't it? I love the colour of that. So perhaps we'll have a stamp here and then something else. So I've got my glue book favourites 5. Let's see what I've got here, because obviously I've got some of these quite small. That's nice, isn't it? Oops, I had a bird fussy cut in here as well. See, that's what happens when I'm organised. The stuff's all completely mixed in. If I'm not careful, it's just all going to be mixed in. I mean, the dog's really cute on there. The house is really cute on there. I'm not sure either of those are quite right, but they are cute. Or I've got a couple more bits. Let's have a look. That's quite nice. Just having that letter A, to be honest. Have the... Perhaps I won't waste the postage stamp there because we're not really going to see much of it. Seems a shame to waste that gorgeous postage stamp, doesn't it? Unless I do have it like that. Then that feels a bit of a weird cluster because there's nothing real on there. I know that doesn't probably make much sense, but I feel like you should always have something there, you know, like a picture or, I don't know, something. Let me just see whether I've got one of those little chairs. That might be quite cute on there. Oh, not that one, it's huge. That was huge. Oh, come on. Because I also printed some of these out on smaller size, so just see. That's sweet, isn't it? Let's have that. Yeah, let's have that chair. Okay, so again, I'm just going to ink that up, like particularly in there, you know, where it's got the white, where the arm of the chair is. So that's quite nice, isn't it? Might have to have it hanging off because otherwise I feel like it's a bit lost. Just going to see if I want some book page in there as well. Don't think it really needs book page, do you? Also got some of this sewing pattern paper. I guess we could have it on that. Get rid of these black bits. Having visions of my daughter's clothes making again for the dolls here, where I end up with then no sewing pattern paper left because I've just torn it all off. Yeah, I quite like it like that, I think. So let's just stick that down. So I'm going to stick the chair to the sewing pattern paper, and then it kind of gives me a guide for where I need to glue the sewing pattern paper itself. So let's just pop that down like that and then turn that over, and then I can see where I can get away with gluing, because obviously then I've got the chair there. You're not going to see then where my glue is. So like that. Yay! So they're really cute, aren't they? And I mean, again, I can obviously decorate these up further. You know, I will obviously ink them, so that's going to straight away change the look of them. And I will probably add some lace and things like that as well. So the chances are they're going to look quite different once they're decorated up. So that's those. Let's move them out of the way. Should we do another couple of strips? Let's do another couple of strips. Okay, so I've got this from my Victorian Florals. So let's do a couple of strips, I think, from here. Well, let's do all of those. Okay. So let's layer up some little bits and pieces on here now. Oops. Just tear these down. I'm not sure that looks quite good, does it? No, I'm not sure about that. Let's take the texty part of this now. Wonder if we could have the texty part. Let's put that there instead. Okay. Perhaps we'll have a little bit of book page. That down, just have that kind of there behind there, so that's quite nice, isn't it? And then if we could have that there or something, that's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, I quite like how that looks. So again, just kind of apply a little bit of glue, again just enough to hold it until I get to the sewing machine, really, because you know, I just want to make sure it's still held together and in place by the time I get to the sewing machine. And actually, I've just got this little bit of lace, which we could maybe just have that kind of running down there as well. Hang on, let's turn that round. Turn that round like that. Okay, so I like how that looks. Just going to that down there, so to just hold that in place. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, pop that on down behind me. And then these two might be slightly trickier because they've got the pink flowers, so I might struggle to incorporate things with these, but let's give it a try. So I've got some more florally papers. I'm thinking something either pink or yellow, because obviously there's, you know, quite a lot of pink and there's quite a lot of yellow going on there. So maybe this, because this is, you know, subtly yellow. It's got a kind of hint of yellow going on with it. So yeah, let's just tear that down like that. And let's do the other one as well. Okay, want it like that? Yeah, like that, I think. And again, we'll just kind of build it up a little bit with a few layers. So let's just again take some book page. And just glue these down. So that one. And that one, I think I want slightly lower like that. Okay, and then this one we'll just glue that down there. Okay, and then some book page. Just like that. Okie dokie, and let's try that again. That might be quite nice on there. So it might be a bit small, to be honest. Maybe that's what I'm struggling with, because these are the Curator's Collection. There's like pages with large and pages with smaller ones. These are the smaller ones. But obviously I'm wanting to use what's kind of laying around on my desk. So yeah, they just happen to be the size that I've got here, but I'm thinking they're maybe a little bit on the small side, and maybe that's why they're not quite kind of coming together as I'd hoped, but they might be okay. Who knows? They might be. Let's just have a look and see if I've got any lace or something to put underneath, because I really liked how that looked. Can't see any really. Well, I mean, I can see some, but not that's the right colour. Got these roses. Just cut these down. That's not right, is it? No, that's not right. Okay, let's just have a look. See what I've got here. I know I say this all the time, but I mean, honestly, the amount of stuff that, you know, I was going to say we've all got, but that's probably a sweeping statement. The amount of stuff I've got here on my desk in my pile. And yet the odds are sometimes, you know, or often, let's just say often, still don't have quite the right thing that I'm looking for. I'm wondering whether if I cover the yellow up, that's going to just change the look of this completely. And, you know, but for me, you know, for the better. So I'm just going to have a look at that. So I'll just see if I've got another pink flower or something that I can put down the bottom. And that's quite big. That's quite big on there as well, isn't it? Oh, I mean, this was supposed to be like a bit of a scrap buster or a stash busting session. Now it's just turned into an overthinking slow session. Oh dear. That's just not good, is it? Yeah, that's not good. Oh, I can't get this to look right. I don't know what it is that I'm actually wanting on here. Certainly none of the things I've put on here so far. I mean, he's quite nice there, weirdly enough. I mean, he's a perfect shape actually for these strips. I don't think I like him on this one, but I'm going to bear him in mind maybe for another one in a minute. So let me just have a look in my curator's collection, because they're the ones that happen to be on my desk. And of course I was wanting to use those, but I have got more here, you know, that weren't on my desk. So I'm thinking, you know, stop being ridiculous and actually use a different one, and then I'm sure it's going to come together a lot better and I'll feel happier with it. I mean, sometimes, you know, we can try and make things work, but I mean, if they're not working, they're not working, are they? Yeah, I mean, that looks better, doesn't it? But I'm thinking now I'm going to be tearing that down. Yeah, I think I'd prefer to tear that down, so just tear around a bit. Okay. Yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? I'm just going to ink this up a little bit. Or a lot. Did you see the colour of that? It's, yeah. Just ink it up a little bit. Oh, it's very bright. Okay, so again, I'm just going to glue that on there so it kind of holds in place until I get to the printer. So, not printer, sorry, sewing machine. Sewing machine. I'm mad now. Okay, so then I've got this one, and again, let's just see if I've got one of these pieces that would look good on here. I'm thinking this might look quite nice, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, let's just ink this up a little or a lot again. So there we go. It's quite nice, isn't it? And then again, I'm just wondering whether we could have some more of that sewing paper just underneath there. So okay. Oops. Well, that didn't really look like a very big piece, but it's obviously huge because my gosh, it's swamping that So that's nice, isn't it? So let's just then glue that down. Like that. Okay. And obviously, I mean, all this will be inked up anyway. So, right, let's get rid of these bits and pieces. Okay. So I don't know how long I've been filming for because I've had to stop the camera for a couple of times. So I've, you know, lost track of how long we've been filming for. But I think what I'm going to do is just take my bits over to the sewing machine, and then I will come back and show you how they all look now. Right guys, I'm back from the sewing machine. So I'm going to just pop this out the way because this is probably all that we've got time for today. And to be fair, I mean, I still obviously have got quite a lot of scraps in here and probably ideally should do like another, you know, spend another hour or so getting them down. But it's at least now not kind of overflowing from the top. So I'm happy, you know, happy with that for the time being. And I will just show you what I did at the sewing machine. So I obviously had those paper like ruffles that I've just stitched them down. And then what I did was, if I just find some of them. So I've stitched these ones, obviously, you know, what I would call naked. So they're just literally the paper ruffle. And then what I've done here is I just attached a little tiny bit of lace at the edge of the paper ruffle as well. And, you know, I quite liked it to have the lace kind of longer than the ruffle, just for a bit of a different look, really. And so that literally has just been stitched on the sewing machine. This was the first one I did, where, as you can see, I've used a massive, great big piece of lace and the ruffles in the middle. I don't dislike that. I quite like it. You know, I'm sure that in the right place, this is going to look great. But then I kind of switched over to cutting this wide lace down in half and then kind of attaching it like that, which it's probably more useful and more usable. But I think this in the right place would also look, you know, really awesome. So that's those, which I absolutely love. So again, if you fancy doing that for a mass make, we could always do that one week. So, you know, let me know in the comments down below and we could do that. And then these are the strips. And again, what I've done is then just added a little bit of lace kind of, you know, randomly on them. So this one, love how this looks now. And I was a bit unsure about this earlier, but just with the addition of the lace, looks gorgeous, doesn't it? And then that one there. And then we've got this one, whoops, this one here, which I loved this one straight away, right from the start. And then with the clusters, I've obviously torn them down from the book page and literally just stitched down, again, attaching a little piece of lace to the side. Same there with a little piece of lace. And then this one, I just popped on one of those paper clusters, again, just stitching it to the very bottom of the cluster. Obviously, if I pulled at that, that's going to snap straight off. So I need to be careful, but I mean, obviously I'm assuming that once that's glued onto a piece or a tag or, you know, whatever, I can glue it completely round and then that will be, you know, no longer a vulnerable spot. And then obviously we've got these two little flip up thingies that we made as well. So I hope that you like all the bits that we made. Obviously they could all be embellished further, they could be inked, they could be, you know, have bling added and things like that. But I hope that you like them and maybe it's given you some inspiration for some little bits and, you know, things to do with your clusters. Or, oh, not clusters, sorry, scrap that. Oh, scrap that. Sorry, I'm obviously a bit dehydrated, I think now. So, yeah. Not your clusters, your scraps. So yeah, I hope that it's given you some inspiration and I'd love it if you join me next time. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks. Bye.